We live in very interesting times considering the economic, global market, the logistics, obviously, the supply chains. There has been so many disruptions. And here are some of the stuff that Jamie Dimon, basically the goat of the banking in the US, outlined in his annual letter, and my take on some of those, because obviously on a super big scale we've been through a huge systemic shock that started in 2020 with the whole COVID pandemic, where we basically, did like a hard stop on the whole economy, supply chain. Everything got super disrupted. We pumped a lots of money into the system, right? The J Powell was just crazy with that printer. And the shockwaves from all this are, rippling through the time all the way up until now, where obviously we are just getting more and more, stones being thrown into the pond of the global market, with obviously the crazy war that's happening between the Ukraine and Russia. So there are certain key aspects that we need to consider also in the respect of, okay, are we going to have some kind of a recession, slowdown? Is it going to be this year or the next year? So basically, one of the stuff that Jamie outlined was that the US economy is still strong. The numbers for employment are obviously super powerful. If you actually go outside, there is so much going on. If you go to a mall, if you go to a restaurant, people are so fed up with, being locked down for already a couple of years, that especially now going into the summer with all the lockdowns easing, uh, it's predicted that this is going to be a really great summer for lots of, obviously, travel and leisure related stocks, companies. So, in a sense, it's seems like the US is in excellent financial shape. Um, but the point number two is that, uh, obviously, with that systemic shock, money in the system, the inflation is just, you know, out of Fed's hands, and this will most likely require aggressive rate hikes. That's kind of the big elephant in the room, because inflation needs to be stopped and managed, right? And that could happen through managing of the supply chains or aggressive rate hikes. And it seems that the supply chains are going to get even worse with everything that's happening, right? Which is kind of tied with the point number three, the war in the Ukraine, which is disrupting commodity market in a significant manner. And some of the key elements, you can talk about the lithium in the EVs, or other stuff. Obviously, we have. Kind of the food related commodities like wheat, which again, like these will be systematic shocks that will kind of ripple. And uh, economy is just super hard, especially now in the global world. Everything's intertwined, so it's just super hard to predict any of these. So we are basically having these forces that are fighting kind of against each other. So we are now having this unprecedented moment in history, which is basically point number four, where at the same time there is a converging of that pandemic fueled stimulus, rising rates, sanctions towards the Russia, war in the Europe. And that's just like super combustile mix that it might transpire in any possible manner, right? Maybe we will just kind of get through it. The second half of the year might be relatively, smoothly up. Might be a soft landing with the rate hikes if Jay Powell and the rest of the Fed can, juggle all these balls in the air at the same time. But at the same time, if any of these aspects get just like a little out of the hand, it might spiral really quickly. So dangerous time and really unpredictable, right? So kind of the last point that's most important, and obviously it's intertwined, the economy and the politics. And now strong leadership is more important than ever before, right? Especially with the US, with basically the top world power, in which is kind of being at the same time challenges, right, by many different other players, obviously with the China. So We really need a leadership in the US that can have a tight grip and clear vision, kind of going forward. With obviously the election kind of looming in the second half of the year, it's going to be really important to ensure that democracy and freedom still prevail, and basically the Western world can work out all these complexities and really make sure that we can get out of this mess stronger than before. Okay, folks, that's all for today. If you've managed to listen to my rambling all the way up until this point, you are freaking awesome. I love you. Give me a comment down below, subscribe, like, the usual stuff. Connect with me on Twitter, just Google my name or something. I would like to hear your opinion about any of the stuff I have mentioned. And keep being awesome. Take care.